Oh, hey,
Hi, how are you?
how's it going?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, good. It's late in the day here today, so I've
Oh,
eaten. I'm feeling
what's
very.
the time difference there?
We're just at 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So it's. I've just had my dinner, so I'm feeling very full. It's all good.
That's so funny. Wow. That's nice
Um,
though.
I'm just gonna get up the questions that we had
hmm
from the poll that we put up yesterday, and you did you get some as well?
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. I screenshotted them because I'm not the best with how lives work, so I have them like
Right.
screenshotted separately.
Okay, that's perfect. So we can kind of go through those as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, how are things in New York at the moment? Are you guys still locked down? What's the
Yeah,
situation?
so I actually haven't been I left New York in March. So
All right,
it's been a while since I've been back, so I miss it. But yeah, everything's like pretty bad there. I think it's getting a little better, but school's still like locked.
mm,
Even like I think just now, like a couple days ago, dental offices started like opening up.
yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
it's been yeah, everything is like definitely slower there.
And I've got the question. So sorry, I was faffing around my iPad trying to get the question.
You're good. Thank you for
Uh,
having me.
no, it's going to be fun. I think this is kind of the way we want to go with things on here.
hmm
Um, there's been loads of guys. Some guys have been, specialist level treatment. So we should do some like before and afters, how to do X, Y, Z
That's awesome.
treatments,
Wow.
which is really cool. But then at the same time, there's a lot of dental students out there who can give advice to pre-dents, who can give advice to kind of just surviving dental school in different places.
Yeah.
Um, and then just other interesting people who are on their own podcasts we've had on as well. So it's just nice to hear from everyone. Cammy's in the comments there. How you doing, man? We've had Cammy on twice, so
Oh
he's
wow, that's exciting.
he's cool.
It's like
Yeah,
this is my first actual live. I've never really been live on Instagram.
no, it's not too
Never.
scary.
I was
Um,
nervous. I really was.
what's this penny gang?
Oh, okay. So at NYU, since it's such a big class, like we're broken up
Mm,
into these group practices. So the group practice director is a dentist. So for me, it's Pentagonda. So like we call ourselves the Penny Gang.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the subsect of the
Kind of, yeah, because it's such a big class.
yeah. Guys who are watching, get some questions down on the little question mark tab down below, and we'll try to kind of answer as many as we can. Um, the first thing kind of people ask you, kind of keep on asking is how difficult was it to get into NYU? Like, because it's such a big, well-known school worldwide. Like, was it as scary getting in there as like you might think?
Honestly, so NYU was like my top choice. Like I've always loved New York. I live in Miami now, so NYU was like the dream. I just genuinely didn't know like my chances of getting in. So
Mm,
just the whole application process itself was like so stressful. But the fact that NYU accepted me was like the biggest blessing because at the end of the day, that was like where I wanted to go. I just
yeah.
always thought I would stay like home or like around like South Florida and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, it's a big move because I suppose Florida seems a lot more laid back
Yeah, it's
from
so
what I know
different here.
of New York.
It's so different, but I love New York because it's such like a hustle there. Like every day, like you go outside and like everyone is like hustling for like their dreams or like whatever they want. Like they make it happen. So that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah, it's like they call it the city that never sleeps. Is that right?
Yeah,
Is it really
literally.
like that?
Yeah. I love the excitement of it. There's always something to do. Like there's always an adventure to go on. Like there's always
Mm.
something.
And like, what's it like as a student there? Are you able to, go out and do all the things that you want to do, or is it just like so expensive? You're going, oh, great, we're doing the budget options all the time.
So that was definitely a wake-up call. Like it's very expensive. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, you're only there for a certain amount of time. Like a lot of people go back home when they graduate, a lot of people stay. So it's kind of like you have these 4 years to just like do whatever you want and just become the person you want to be. So I always like to like that way. Like if I want something like I try to, of course, balance like school and like social life, but I
Mm.
try to make it seem as if there's like no boundaries. Like do whatever you want, just what makes you happy and like takes your mind off the stress.
Yeah, for sure. We got a question down there from Albert. He's saying,
hmm
is it difficult to specialize at NYU? Apparently, he's heard that it's really difficult to get, kind of a specialist level post. I think you call it a residency over there, don't you?
Yeah, so I know like some schools are solely based on like specializing. Like I know Columbia is like 90% chance specialty. I don't
Mm,
think it's hard to specialize at NYU. Like if you really want to, like you can 100% make it happen. I just think it's more of a school. I think most people go there to become like general dentists. Like I think the majority of the people. But
yeah,
a lot of people definitely like specialize if they want. It's 100% possible.
yeah. One of your friends down there saying, Danny's saying your favorite dentist.
Yeah, she's my friend from back home.
Awesome. Um,
Yeah.
what have you? Let's have a look at one of the questions you got on your story. Then, what have we got out there?
So let's see. Okay, so my friend asked, she goes, "What's it like going to a school with 400 people in your class?"
Mm,
I think NYU is the biggest dental school in like the whole country.
yeah,
At first, because my undergrad was super small, our classes were like 20 something people. So that's why like going to a school that's 300 something is insane. But I
yeah,
actually think that's the best part about NYU because you have so many options for like connections and like making new friends and just like meeting so many more people than you could meet at a smaller school. So I actually think it's a benefit. It's one of the
yeah.
best parts about it.
It's very different to my school in Newcastle, UK. Obviously,
Hmm.
we had the year that I started, it was about 95 to 100.
Oh,
But
wow.
by the fifth year that I was there, the intake was only 70 or 60,
That's
60 to
so
70.
small.
It was like a very, very like tight knit group. So everyone knows everyone. So I suppose in like your year, you kind of like know everyone in your year maybe, and then a couple of the guys in the years above.
So you'd
We
be
knew
shocked,
everyone.
even though we have like when we take tests like in school we're in these like big auditoriums, there's always
Yeah.
people that walk in and I'm like, I've never like seen them before. Like this always happens. So it's like the weirdest thing because like they just appear from somewhere. But for the most part, like the majority, and definitely like in the library and stuff, you see like people from other years. So you just
Yeah.
get to interact with everyone.
Yeah, so like we knew everyone in all the years, unless they were, especially kind of reclusive or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose it's like it's nice in a way, but you kind of if you do something, everyone knows about it. So I don't know if it's
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like I think with smaller schools, it's like you get to know more people, so it's nice, but just like every little thing, like everyone notices. And
mm,
like I really thought it wouldn't be like that in a big school, but you'd be surprised. Like still, it's sometimes it feels like a small school.
yeah. I don't know if you had the same thing. Like the whole spotted pages on Facebook were massive when I was in university. So there would be like an anonymous page. People would send in like photos of funny things that were going on, or just stuff like things. It was things like, oh, I've been in the library and this so and so is really attractive, and they'd be like,
That's so
you know,
funny.
it completely anonymous, and then everyone's looking around going, I wonder if it's that person.
That's like so awkward, but so funny.
Yeah, and then you'd send something in, and then it'd be like, I'm gonna make it as funny as I can and really obvious to people who know what that person is. But this was across the whole uni, so there was like 30,000 people on this page.
Oh my God, that's awkward. That's
It was crazy. So obviously there's loads of in jokes going on.
yeah.
I kind of imagine that would be the same sort of thing with a school where there's 400 people in the year.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a lot, but I think it's one of the benefits of the school for sure.
Yeah, I'm obviously like each one of those people that knows like different people. So if you need some,
Hmm.
like a contact, for example, I don't know if you're going to move to LA, one of your friends might have like a contact in
Exactly.
LA, and
Yeah.
you can just build a big network like that. So
Yeah,
it's
that's the
pretty
best
cool.
part about it.
Let's do one of the questions I got on mine. Uh,
Hmm.
and this is from Anya. I don't know if she's watching today. Can you apply early? Can applying early help with a low GPA? I have no idea about this stuff because I didn't go through this cycle.
Yeah. So honestly, 100%. Like I know the application when I applied,
Mhm.
opened up at a certain time. It was like June
Yeah,
1st back in the day. I think now it opens a little earlier. But if you can get all your like your DAT scores, your transcripts, your letters of rec, like everything in by like an earlier date, you're like first one in the door. Like for
Mhm.
me, I applied early, but my DAT was only in August. So that
Yeah,
made me kind of a late applicant. So I got majority of my interviews were post December. So it's less spots for someone to get accepted, basically.
that's a bit crazy because in the UK it's a centralized system. Everyone
Yeah.
applies, and the applications go on there, but they don't get released till a certain date, and then they
Oh, so it's
sort of,
like so everyone's on the same level, basically.
yeah, there's no like early application. It's all kind of like you input all your information onto this online system. You tick the schools you want to click into, go
Hmm.
into. You get four choices and then a backup.
Oh, you
Like
only get four choices?
there's only 14 dental schools in the UK, so you get four choices
Wow.
and then a backup and a non-dental degree. Um,
Wow, it's so different.
yeah, it's quite nerve-wracking, but because obviously if you could apply to all 14, then I don't know if you would be more likely to get in or not. I don't know.
I literally applied to probably five times the amount of
Yeah.
schools you applied.
Um, so then I think what happens for us is the universities get all the applications and print them all off.
Yeah.
And then they start like putting them in piles. Basically, they probably go through the grades first, maybe I'm guessing, or the
Hmm.
something similar to the DAT we have, UK CAT. So I reckon
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're ranked by grades in UK CAT, and then they go from there. I did not get into all four without even applying.
Oh.
Everyone follow Hass. He's funny. Yeah, no. So I got interviews at all four,
It's
and
amazing.
then
Wow.
I got two offers, and I
That's
went.
literally almost all of them. That's amazing.
It was I was lucky. I was really lucky. I just did well somehow.
That's
Um,
awesome, though. I think applying was probably the most stressful thing of my entire life. It
yeah,
was it
I
was
think
stressful.
I think the application wasn't as bad as actual dental school for me.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think as soon as I got in, I just slacked off. I was like, I'm in now. They can't
You
do
know what
anything.
they say? They say it's hard to get in, but it's harder to stay in.
Yeah, I think because for me, I knew that I wanted to do it for like years beforehand. So
Yeah.
like building it all up. And then I was like, okay, it's time to chill. I was there
Time
like
to chill.
time to chill and chill hard. So yeah, I didn't do as well in the exams in uni. Not because I was dumb or anything. I was just lazy.
Right. Honestly, as long as like you got where you wanted to be, so clearly that like doesn't matter. You got
No,
there.
no, of course. Everyone, I was speaking about this with someone, Omid, a while back. Dr. Wade Baby, that's his Instagram handle, and
Hmm.
he had a really kind of left field entry. He had to do a master's in bioscience and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, you're all going to be a dentist, and you're all going to be kind of like, there, one or
A
2 years.
lot of people
There.
do that.
Yeah, for sure.
The majority of my class, I would say, probably took at least like one or two gap years, if not more. And a lot of people have multiple degrees, like not just like, because like for us, we have to do bachelor's and then we get into, you can get into dental school, but a lot of people have
Yeah,
masters, totally different careers, some people. And it's like, honestly, that makes you look like a stronger applicant if you have all of that behind you.
yeah. You get a bit more rounded, and you've done something a bit different.
Exactly. They really
Probably
like that.
you probably know you want to do it like by that
Hmm.
point. How to apply from Nevada, for New York City for a master's. There is a program that I'm aware of that international dentists can do in
Hmm.
NYU.
Yeah.
You can't stay in the States afterwards. You have to
Oh,
go back.
really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I know they have to like take the boards before they like apply, kind of. It's like the DET, but like for them because they're already dentists.
Yeah.
But
So
I didn't
there's
know you couldn't stay after.
so there's a few different ones. I know because I did a couple of lives on this one. This
Hmm.
the advanced standing program. You have to go through all of dental school again, basically, and that allows you
Wow.
to stay in the States. Or this other program that Tariq Hafez has done and Sandra Big Smile. Um, that one doesn't allow you to stay, but you get like really, really intense learning, like on a master's level.
Hmm.
Um, and Tariq's now working at Upper Aesthetic in Dubai, so obviously like
Well,
he's
that
he,
sounds
he's
great.
he's good. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's doable. So I think it's just kind of whatever route you want to take, right?
Exactly, yeah. They asked, can we apply for DDS? Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
like the degree you would get.
Yeah, if you want to have a look at the YouTube video I did with Masuma Rivsi back in September, that'll go through the whole process, man. Probably better than either of us can talk about it because we've not done it. Uh,
Yeah.
it's hard talking about those things. So you're like, oh God, I've not done it, but I guess this is what you do.
Yeah, like all I know is like I hear like people talking about it and I see people doing it, but I don't know like the little ins and outs of it.
Mm. Um, any more questions from your side? I've got a few more.
Yeah,
We'll
so
do.
let's see. So someone asked, are the classes more difficult than the undergrad upper level science classes? Um, yes. I would I would definitely say it's a lot harder, obviously, in dental school, but a lot of the classes that I did in undergrad, like especially the last year, they helped me immensely here because at the end of the day, it's the same information that keeps like circulating. Like it's the same facts.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely harder, but it's mostly harder because of the time management. I wouldn't say the material is harder. It's just the amount that they give you.
Yeah, in your school, how is it set out? Do you do like a couple of years of theory first, and then you go in the clinics, or is it kind of side by side?
Yeah, so our first 2 years are focused like on didactic courses, so
Mhm.
like anatomy, like biochem, like all that stuff. Like we have like some that's my friend. So we have a lot of like the didactic courses first as well as labs, but then after
Mhm.
second year when you take your boards like for part one, then you can start clinic for the last 2 years, but you also have some didactic courses as well.
No, yeah, I think I had this conversation with someone, not on Instagram this time, and we were saying actually it would be much easier if they taught everything upside down, like they taught
Really?
if you just imagine, right? You start learning all your clinical work and or you know how to do everything
Yeah.
technically, and then they teach you the anatomy of the tooth, and you're like, ah, this is why I need to know it now.
Yeah, like at first when they teach us dental anatomy, like you're just like looking at these like things or these like
Mm.
shapes and you're like, what is this? Like none of it like kind of makes sense. You're just trying to memorize it. But then like of course, like through practice and like through labs and stuff, then like you start getting the gist of it. But I don't think you really get it until you actually see it like on a person in real
Yeah,
life.
yeah. That's what he was saying. It was like it would make so much sense. Like you'd get less of the kind of the first 2 year burnout where you're like, I can't be bothered, and I don't want to do this anymore because when am I going to see some teeth?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
right away you see some teeth. It'd be nice, but I suppose there's probably been done that way for so long that it's hard to change everything
Exactly.
upside down.
But they
Um,
are changing the curriculum, I think, significantly because of the new boards. Like they are, since they have the integrated one soon, like next year, they're changing so much stuff, and I honestly don't even know how they're gonna change it, but it's gonna be different for sure.
yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how things change, and I'll probably have to do another video with Masuma about that afterwards.
Yeah,
We've got another question. Can you study for the DAT in 2 weeks?
honestly, some people can do 2 weeks, some people can do a year. Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend who literally studied during winter break and it was like a couple weeks. I studied 7 or 8 weeks, and I know people study like a year. It's your level of like motivation, how hard you can like learn all that information. I think if you're pretty like motivated and you have a good background, for sure. But I know for me, I need the maximum time without like burning out, kind of.
Yeah, I think I like to have the point where I go into an exam and the 2 days before I've done so much revision or studying that I can't physically pick up a book anymore.
Exactly.
And
You get tired
I
of it. You get like bored and you're like, I want to get this over
like
with.
I've seen this now, and
Hmm.
I don't need to see this again. I don't want to see it again ever. Uh, that,
Yeah.
that's the point where you're like, okay, I know it now, or like I know as much as I'll ever know.
Yeah, you can never know everything. That's what I've like come to realize lately. You can't know everything. Just know as much as you can to do well enough.
Yeah.
That's the motto.
We, we got another question in the comments. What's the workload like versus your social life?
Okay, so this is a funny story. I actually think my first year of dental school, I had more fun and more of a social life than I had ever in my entire life. I
Yeah.
think like you can balance it so well, and as long as you tell yourself, okay, you're gonna wake up early, you're gonna study this, like do this, do whatever you want, like later or over the weekend with your friends. Like I think it's 100% so doable to balance it. People in my class have families and they balance it perfectly. So
Yeah, like the way when I did well, like when I wasn't slacking off, which
yeah.
wasn't a lot of the time. Um, what the way it worked really nicely was where if you treat your dental school like a job.
Hmm.
So like you're not going to be in lectures or sessions all the time. In those hours between say 9 and 6, let's call it, you're going to be
Hmm.
studying if you're not in a lecture, and then
Exactly.
free time afterwards. Obviously, when you come closer to exams, ramp it up. You're going to spend evenings. You're going to spend weekends. But
Hmm.
other than that, if you can actually spend your time like working, you could probably do quite nicely with a bit of everything, a bit of social life, a bit of uh,
Exactly. It's all about balance, you know,
yeah.
and like a lot of people I think go into it thinking like, oh my God, it's 100% only school, like school. But you're
Mm.
gonna burn out so quick and like you're gonna be so tired and like depressed from it. Like you need something to like look forward to. Like when exams come around, like it's like a 24/7 grind. But once you press that submit button, you can leave and you can literally just like chill. It's like the best feeling in the world.
How do you de-stress? So what's your method?
Okay, so I so that's another reason why I love New York is because I can just like walk anywhere. Like I just for me just de-stressing, I just walk outside and just keep walking until like I maybe see something new or I see something cool. Like there's always something to do.
Mm.
What even if like let's say my friends are busy, like I don't always have to like hang out with them. It just like just releasing your mind, just walking around, like doing like little touristy things, you know. Just always find that little like dime in like the place you live, kind of.
Yeah, I think I like to, or I used to like to, either go to the gym. That was
Hmm,
all,
yeah,
you know,
I tried that out.
you
Didn't
can you
last too
can
long.
you can exercise your frustration of work away. But the other thing we found was there was like a coffee shop which was open till like 1 a.m.
Hmm.
So you could take your laptop, you could take your notes, um, and then you sit there, have coffee and cake or tea and cake till you got bored, and then you just chilled.
Exactly, yeah. It's like a different vibe. It's nice, like change it up too. You don't always want to be like in the library or in your apartment
Mm.
studying.
Yeah, and if you can sit out the window, there's people watching. That's just
Oh, I
perfect.
love people watching. I love people
Yeah,
watching.
it's a sport. It's a sport, isn't it? It's one of those things like you can just I don't know lose yourself in just watching out of a window and there's loads of people going by.
Yeah.
Um,
We have some
and
questions in the
yeah, we've got
comments.
loads. Teriyaki sauce. Does your dental? What's going on there?
Oh, with
What's the
teriyaki?
ter What's the teriyaki sauce
Okay,
joke?
only because so he's in my class, obviously. His last name is Tabaroki. So me and my
Right.
friend would make like would be like, oh, we would just call him teriyaki. So I guess it just like stuck. That's why. So it's kind of like an inside joke, but that's the only like story behind it.
That's cool. Let's have a look. How's the professor to student interaction with a big class size? Do you get enough attention?
Honestly, I'm the type of person who I don't really go to class unless I have to. Like
Mm.
I got podcast or like I read notes, stuff like that. So for me, it doesn't matter as much. But if you really want that interaction and you need to like talk with a professor, they're always available. Or you can email them to meet. So it's definitely possible they just might not know everyone's first name because there's
Yeah,
so many of us.
that's probably going to be a bit more of a question if once you get onto the clinic side of things.
Yeah,
So
I think when you're in clinic, then you're like more one-on-one. And like that's where it actually matters a lot.
yeah, I think we'll come back to that once you've maybe finished.
Yeah.
Is living in a big apple a distraction or to stay focused on your studies?
Um, I don't think so. I think for some people they can get overwhelmed because it's such a big city and so like the hustle and bustle and everything. But honestly, I think when you're really grinding and you really care about school, because you have to care, you know, you have to care to pass or to do well. I
Yeah,
think that like thing in the back of your mind is telling you study, and then reward yourself with like having fun or doing whatever. So it just depends on the person, I guess.
yeah. I mean, I think it's the same anyway. If you're going to get distracted, you're going to get distracted because you don't work.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how it comes down to it. Did you become close to your GP? Did you get interact with other GPs?
Yeah, so GP is the group practice, basically like your group. Yes, we did get close at first. Like, of course, you're getting to know the people when you first meet them, but throughout like time, because you have labs with them, you have like preclinical things with them, outreaches, like you of course get close to them and you hang out with them and stuff. And you do interact with other GPs. When I was actually applying to NYU, people told me, "Oh, you're never gonna see anyone except the people in your GP." And I was like, "How is that possible?" And I was like, "Am I stuck with like only 20 people?" But you literally see other GPs in lab, plus
Mm.
all my other friends are in other GPs. So like you're always with people.
Yeah. Any suggestions for incoming D1s at NYU? How to stay focused on Zoom? The first thing for a D1 to do is send me a photo of you in scrubs so we can do features. Otherwise, fail.
There you go.
Uh,
Um,
and you can
other
answer
than
properly.
that, other than that, I think Zoom really isn't that bad. Like you're focused pretty well. Like you're still communicating with all the people. You can still have group chats. Like you can meet new friends. I know you guys won't have like orientation how like all the other people did, but I think sooner or later, like we're gonna start and you're gonna get in the rhythm of things. So Zoom is only like for a little bit, it's temporary.
Yeah. I I would prefer Zoom, to be honest, because if you want to ask a question, you can just type it.
Exactly. It's more chill too, and it gives you more time to study because you don't have to waste time going to school
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's kind of pluses and minuses to it. Obviously, you're not
Hmm.
going to have that social aspect if you're in a lecture hall, but then you can do it with like your food and your coffee
Yeah,
from bed.
exactly.
Uh, I wonder if someone's done it from a shower.
Honestly, I feel like people have, but you have to be really careful with the camera thing because you don't want that to
Get
like
on. Yeah.
somehow turn on. That's always a thing.
Are there many dentists from other countries retraining on the course to be able to work in the States?
Um,
That's the
like
advanced
basic
standing program. I don't know if you've got one.
Yeah, so the advanced standing in NYU, there are a lot of dentists, a lot of international students every year. I don't know how many we get, but there's definitely a big amount.
Yeah.
There's they join as a D3 basically. Like this past year they started doing some lab work with us as a D2, but overall they joined for the last 2 years. So yeah, there's actually a good amount of them. I know it's a pretty competitive program.
Yeah, I've looked into it. There's like a few dotted around the states. Um, it's basically the only way you can come in and work as a general
Yeah.
anywhere. You can become a specialist and work as a specialist without doing the the ASP, which is a bit weird.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, but you have to do the residency in the states.
Okay,
It's
that
really
makes sense.
strange. Yeah, it's really strange, but you can only work in certain states when you do that.
What? Just like only certain schools take international students.
Yeah,
Like very small amount do.
yeah, the whole thing's really, really confusing. So,
Hmm.
if you guys are wanting to do that, really do your research.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
how has NYU handled the coronavirus in terms of classes? Probably Zoom.
Honestly, they did like pretty well. They really quickly like switched us over to Zoom. Like they made up for like obviously labs that we couldn't finish. Like we still had some interactive stuff.
Mm,
Definitely not the same as being in school. Like I do miss that. But I mean, for as much as like could have been done, they 100% like did everything possible.
yeah. Ismail, I'm not sure. Last I read, it was still going, but then if something's changed recently, then I may not be knowing about that. The U.S. citizen studying in, is that Bulgaria, Poznan? From
Um,
not
I'm
Bulgaria?
not sure.
Is it Romania? I'm terrible with Eastern European geography.
Me too.
Um, so that's the question we got from there. We had one more on my sticker.
Hmm.
And that was, is starting dental school at 25 years old? Is that weird? What's the average age of a D1 at NYU?
No, that is so not weird. I have friends who are literally 30. I have friends who are 22, 23. Like it's so all over the place.
Mm,
I don't think it's ever too late. I think if you're older and you can get in and you have the characteristics of a good applicant, like more power to you. because you are so much more ahead, you know? I don't think it's ever too late at all.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think if you're hitting 40s and 50s, maybe have a think. Maybe.
Definitely think
But
about like how it's going to alter your life. Like, of course, like
yeah,
finances, the amount of work that you have to put in. But other than that, if you can do it,
but
go
yeah,
for
if you're
it.
interested, go for it. We had a guy who played professional rugby in ours, and then he got injured, and he started 27, so he was
Wow.
32, 33 by the time he finished. It was fine. He was more of a child than most of us, so
And it's still
it
like a
was.
whole
It's
career to go, you know?
yeah.
It's,
He was a really fun guy. So I mean, it's just down to you and your kind of own situation. Go for it.
yeah.
Um, we had questions on the other posts as well. Did you have any more from your sticker?
Okay, let me see. A lot we answered. Someone asked, "Are you excited for D3?" 100%. I've been waiting for this my whole entire life, just in general be here. So I'm excited to see
Yeah.
patients. I just want to like go back to school. I'm tired of like sitting at home. I miss like the interactions also.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure. That's my little
let's
cousin
see.
in the comments. Hey Zaid.
What? Oh, aw. When did you start this
Uh,
page?
oh, this was back in December 2017, I
Wow,
think.
you have a very good following. Like it hasn't been that long, I feel like. You know, it's only been like several years, but you did a
Yeah,
very like good job with it.
I think it's been 2.5 years max now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I started this like a month after my graduation.
Oh
So
wow.
I did, because obviously we know that I slacked a lot in my exams. I had to do the research, which meant that kind of programs where we did we have something called like a foundation dentist year, and it's 1 year long, and you do it after school.
Yeah.
But it starts September to September every year. So if you miss the boat on your finals, you've got to wait till the next year.
Oh
Um,
wow. That's annoying.
no, but it's actually really good because that means I had 10 months to go and travel and just chill,
That's true.
start a
That's
page like
true.
this. So then, like, one thing's led to another. Initially, I was just like featuring dentists, going, everyone just say, "Hi, my name's this," and that was that. But then, kind of as time went on, I was like, why don't I just do actual lives where you actually get to know the person properly, and everyone's
Yeah.
watching and ask questions.
I
So it's
think
like,
that's special
like
about your page because a lot of pages, like, yeah, they repost and stuff like that, but very few have like interactions with people.
yeah, I think it's boring not to do it when the option to do it.
Yeah.
Uh, and then obviously we've gone from doing kind of standard kind of features and then live features, and now I'm doing more like uh, we've done rubber dam tutorials. We've done loads of crazy stuff.
Oh, I would have needed that 2 years ago.
It's probably one of the best ones I've done. He's from Holland. He went through step by step absolutely everything you ever need to know about how to do a rubber dam, like on any case. So that was really cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and we're doing all like there's a girl from Lebanon. We're gonna do like a live how to take dental photos tutorial. So
That's actually super important.
we did the theory last Wednesday, and we're working out how we can do an actual live kind of watch as I take the photo.
Yeah,
That's crazy. It's going to be
I think that's
crazy, but
awesome.
brilliant. Yeah, so it's going like in a lot of different directions. So it'll be interesting to see where it ends up.
I think you're doing great, honestly.
And yeah, if anyone
And
wants to support what I'm doing, the Patreon's in the link. Blog.
and that's it for my questions, by the way. That's
Is that all
basically
you
it.
got? We had
The
some.
other ones we covered, so yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple on the features. What do you like most about your school?
Honestly, I actually have to say the big class size for sure.
Yeah,
I like that. A lot of people see it as like a minus, but I think that's like the best thing is you literally meet so many people. Like you have so many friends, like just so many opinions and so many like networking opportunities. I think that's the best part about it for sure.
yeah. We'll get to the questions in the comments really soon. I just want to get through these questions, otherwise I keep on looking down and it's a bit rude. What do you recommend for pre-dental students to look for when they're applying to schools?
I think look for a place you can see yourself living in for 4 years. I think that's
Yeah.
important. I know when I was applying, I didn't care. I just needed to get in. I could have gone to Kentucky, New anywhere. I'm down. But I think for sure look at where you want to live as well as I don't know, finances are like an issue. Definitely that's a big factor. They're pretty much the same for every school, but just
If you stay
have
in
a look at
state,
that.
cheap, right? If you stay in state, it's way cheaper.
I if you go to like a state school and you're from the state and they accept you, yeah, it's
Yeah.
100% cheaper. A
Because
hundred percent. It's like half the
I
price,
spoke
I
to my,
think.
yeah, I can't remember what the price was. Baha Jalane's in state and she's not paying as much. And I spoke to her about that a while back because I was just interested. Um, got a question. Laura's loops. Are you selling loops, first of all? Um, I was supposed to do a D1 summer research fellowship at NYU. It was cancelled because of Corona. Is it a bad idea to be involved in research as a D1? I would say go for it. I mean, it's only going to help you kind of your, what do you call it? CV.
Yeah, I think for sure do research. Like if you're into it, like do it any year if you want all years. I'm not a huge research person. I've never like been huge into that, but a lot of people do it and it's great if you want to specialize or do a residency afterwards. So I think for sure there's never too late.
Yeah, I wish I have had some research to my name because I'm looking to apply for an endo specialty program.
Oh wow.
If I had paper to my name, oh my God, it would be so much easier. Like
Yeah, I mean
instead,
that's
yeah.
amazing if you have that. 100%.
That seriously, if anyone gets the chance to do it, even if it's a total ball ache, just do it because if you end up deciding to want to specialize, it's going to put you right at the head of that queue. Just going to make something so much easier for you. Instead, I'm now having to try and like interview every endodontist I know and say, look how interested I am. So that's my way of going around it. Ismail, does it go up to D5 then graduate? It's 4 years, right?
D4,
4 years.
that's the last year. Hopefully no one has to do any extra years, but yes, it's
Mm.
4 years.
Yeah, in the UK, it's 5 years or 6.
Oh wow,
Uh,
that's long.
but you guys do an undergraduate before.
I was gonna say, is it conjoined for you? Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's technically 8 years because it's 4 years undergrad, 4 years dental school. If you do any other programs, that's even longer. So it's a
Yeah, so
long
I think
time.
I prefer it this way though, because it's 5 years and you're finished. And then if
Yeah.
you do like another program, it's 2 or 3 years. As opposed to if you guys, if you want to do another program, it's another 2 or 3. It's
Yeah.
another
No,
two
it's like
years.
half a lifetime.
Yeah.
Half a lifetime goes by for sure.
And then they pay every year. That's the worst part.
Yes.
Um, how can I expect the course load from my first semester at NYU to be? What were the most difficult classes you took during your semester? How many pre-dents have we got on here, guys? Got loads of you.
It's exciting. The first year, everyone says it's like, honestly, every year you go into, everyone's gonna tell you it's the hardest year, and then it turns out to literally be almost the same thing. Like at the end of the day, obviously time management. Hardest class for me, D1 year, maybe was either the dental anatomy course we had because it was like a year long, so it was like a lot of things went into it because it was like lab, lectures, tests, or the anatomy one because anatomy is just a lot. Like I literally devoted my soul to anatomy, and you kind of like when you devote yourself that much, you kind of have to put everything else on the back burner
Mm,
because like it's just hard to balance everything. So I think that was maybe the hardest. But at the end of the day, still D1 year, I promise you, I think I had the most of a social life. Now I think I'm more like calm and more into school because it
yeah.
was more clinics and stuff, and I mean more labs. But it's not bad, I promise you. Everyone tries to scare you. It's doable.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, the whole thing we were talking about. If they taught it the other way around, you'd go through the anatomy and be like, I need to know that, I need to know that, I need to know
Mm-hmm.
that. Because you're like, it's going to make sense. Whereas when you're just taking it in for the first time, you're like, whoa, anatomy is never ending. I swear down, it's just never ending because you could always go, oh, I'll go a bit, yeah, I've done head and neck now, but do I need to know anything lower? And you just keep
Oh
on
my gosh,
going.
literally, story of my life. Like, do I have to know about like your brachialis? I don't know, but everyone makes it sound important.
A book.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that's the thing.
So,
That's why we're like, if you just learn the other way around. It'd be so much more useful. Be like, okay, yeah, I do need to know that because of this, and then you learn.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
Good question. Really good question from Albert there. For someone who's currently in dental hygiene school, would dentistry be a full 360 spinning career, or would it be worth it to go further in education? It's down to you, man. Or that's a girl, actually. It's down to you, girl.
I
That's
actually
something.
have a friend, she did hygiene school before and she graduated hygiene, she got her license and everything. Now she's in dental school. And at the
Yeah,
end of the day, she's like killing it because a lot of the classes she learned before or it's like similar, not much in these like fields, not much changes because at the end of the day, it's the same teeth, like it's the same anatomy, like it's just straight facts.
yeah.
So, I just think it's more beneficial for you.
I think if you really want to do it, you can afford it. You're not going to put yourself in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? You get to do the same things you maybe did in hygiene, plus more. Like there's more stuff you can do, and you can go into like other sides of things as well. Uh, if you're more interested in crowns and bridges than you are in hygiene, then you can do loads of that.
Yeah.
It's down to what you enjoy. I think that's like the most important thing.
Exactly. It's down to what you want to be doing for the rest of your life, kind of. Like, do you want to explore more things? Do you want to stick to what you know?
Mm.
Down to that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, we get a lot of questions like that on these lives, like should I do something in a specific situation? But I think it's the same answer every time. Like do what you want to do as long as you're not gonna make things difficult for you and be able to
Yeah.
not be able to pay off loans and your own
Yeah.
situation. I think that's it. Uh, Whoa, we've got through all of these questions. Did I miss anyone's question? If I did, pop it down again and we'll answer it. What do you think you're going to do after dental school, apart from treat patients?
So honestly, I actually never wanted to specialize. Like I never really loved a certain thing so much that I only wanted to do that. I love general. Like it's true, I love general.
Yeah,
I also, since I'm from Florida, I never thought of doing a residency. I just assumed I was gonna go back to Florida and just start working. But the longer I spend in school, I realize 100% like I want to do a residency. I think it's like the best thing. It's the best practice and like it's such a good transition because like graduating, you literally I feel like you don't know everything. Like you really don't.
yeah,
So if you can just learn some more, and I mean, obviously you're gonna like you get paid for too for most of them and stuff. I think that's a great option, 100%. But I definitely want to do general, um, and see what I can like what more I can do with that.
yeah. I think this, you can always go back, right? There's no time limit on going to do a residency. So
Yeah,
you could
exactly. You could
do a couple of years.
100%.
You could do a couple of years, be like, okay, I really want to do pros now.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of on the same vein, do you recommend a GPR and AEGD? I don't know anything about these things, guys. Sorry.
So honestly, I know more about GPRs just because
Yeah,
that's like what I hear most about. Like I've heard of AEGs before. I think a GPR, I feel like it's more common. There's more in the country and stuff, and it's good as like a kind of like an intermediate step. And if you can like get more practice from it and then see if you like what you're in or if you want to do more and specialize, I think that's like the best alternative for it. I know I for sure want to do a GPR.
yeah. No, I think one of the people that I'm hoping to get on did a GPR, so hopefully we can get her to speak about that. We were supposed to go live yesterday, but I think there was a lot of stuff going down in LA, so she felt like she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get her on at some point. But it's got to kind of be sensitive to what's going on where you're living and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
enough. What clubs are you in?
So I'm not in that many clubs. I'm like I join like the aesthetics society and stuff, and I know we have ASDA in our school. I never got like super involved with it, but I actually just am not in that many clubs just because it's so much more on your plate. And yes, I know I should probably be in more. Like I do think I'm gonna join some more. I just
Yeah,
think I wanted to first focus on school and to make sure like I'm doing well enough to be able to like put more on my plate and not like overdo it.
Yeah, I think that's important because again, you want to kind of find your feet before you start adding more weight.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty sensible.
A lot of
Uh,
people like pile it on and then it just becomes like too much and you like forget like where what you want to like focus on the most.
mm, no, I kind of agree there. I think that's probably the good way to go about it. Brandon's asking, how important is the personal statement?
So, I don't know if you guys have to do it for your application, but we
Yeah.
had to write a personal statement. Honestly, I think the personal statement is important just because for me specifically, I like explained a lot of things in it. I really like made sure the school knew like if my transcript wasn't perfect, like why is it not perfect? Like what was that little blemish there that
Mm,
like was like an issue? For people that are like straight A students, like 4.0s, like 28 DETs, like I'm sure you don't need a super important personal statement because your like numbers are out of this world. But I
yeah.
do think like for everyone, definitely try to put something in there that makes you stand out. Don't write about like that time you had braces or that time like you pulled out your tooth and you wanted to be a dentist. I
Yeah.
think like
Racist thing I
definitely
reckon is boring.
yeah, I think like definitely like put something in there that like makes them remember like damn like this person is deserves to be here. Like
Yeah.
this person is gonna be like an amazing addition to the school. Like no one's like this person.
I think one thing that's like really important is obviously it's difficult for us to say because we're never on that side of the table,
Yeah.
like actually choosing. But if I'm reading a personal statement and it sounds like this person thinks they already know it all, I'm like, nah, I don't want to teach you. You're going to be a nightmare.
That's the thing. I don't like definitely be confident, like know your worth, like know how
Yeah,
much you offer, but don't make them feel like you deserve this more than anyone. Kind of like, you know what I mean? Make sure like they don't think you're too cocky and that you're better than everyone because they know that too. They meet so many people and they don't want someone who's gonna think they're like better than everyone else. Like make sure you're a team
yeah,
player because they really want that.
yeah. I think that's the thing. Like, I've done a few kind of sessions with final year students and help with finals now. Um, and just having gone through that, I'm always thinking like, this has been really fun because these guys are really good to talk to and I can help teach them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you can imagine if you got someone who was kind of like standing their ground in what they think and they weren't willing or able to kind of take any advice, you'd just be like, after 4 years of that, you'd be, you'd quit as a teacher. You'd be like, I can't deal with
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna pick people they want to teach. I think that's kind of how it would go. It's not like whether you're the most clever guy that's ever existed, which is why sometimes people with lower scores might get in because
Hmm.
they're so teachable. Like you
Like
can
I
just
definitely wasn't the perfect applicant. Like I didn't have like that 4.0 or like that perfect score like test. But I think like I definitely showed them that like I want this more than ever and like I intend to get it kind of. Like
yeah.
I want this and I've worked so hard for this and I made myself as well rounded as possible. And like this is like what I want.
Do pre-dental students have the opportunity to shadow assist current dental students?
Honestly, that's a good question. I don't really see as many like pre-dental students coming in. I know in other schools like you can do that, but
Mm,
I do know we have like days where like some like clubs like do like a pre-dental day or like for example like ASDA sometimes does that. And just like you come in and like you can learn how to do like impressions or like wax ups like stuff like that. But I think I really do think that's a good thing to implement. Like if the school would allow like pre-dents to come in, just so they can see like is this what you want to do? Because I know as an undergrad student, as a pre-dent person, I shadowed like as much as possible because I really wanted to get those hours in, but also see if I even like this. That's like
yeah.
so important.
I know that in Michigan, my uncle runs a free clinic to some of the kind of less able communities, and there's
Yeah,
loads. So it's a medical and a dental clinic, and there were loads of nursing students like pre-dents, pre-meds, everything was there, and they're all helping out and
that's
following
amazing.
doctors around. You're helping people who are unable to afford it due to insurance stuff like that, but you're also boosting your CV. So that's something that maybe is available. So have a look for that, guys, if
Hmm.
if that's available where you live. You might have to drive a little bit, to certain different
They
places.
love seeing that on applications. Like if you can just like do something like community service, anything like get in the field, do it. Like they love like hearing about that.
Yeah, and it's actually helping people as well. Even if you don't get in, you've actually helped people, so
Mm-hmm.
feel good
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Simona, best dental student from Valerie.
Yeah,
That's
that's my friend.
another of your friends. Valerie, send in a photo like Simona did, and we'll get you featured. Brandon's asking, how tough is the sim lab? Have you done much in the sim lab yet?
Yeah, so D1 year we do something called bench lab where it's mostly like it's kind of the same thing. Like other schools have sim lab, it like all years kind of we have bench lab and then sim lab. For D1 year we did mostly like class ones, class two, stuff like that. But I think as a DP like we're going to sim lab, so it's like literally across the hall.
Yeah.
But we just do like crown preps, literally just a bunch of I don't even know why I'm going blank right now. We just like basically all stuff you do in lab is what we do in sim lab.
Yeah.
Is it hard? It's hard at first, like when you're learning it, you're like, what? Like my hands like don't even work this way. Like it's like hard. I'm sure it's gonna be harder when we come back eventually. I'm gonna forget what tooth even looks like. But I think with practice, like it's not bad. Everyone has like their like thing that they're best at. I think the hardest part for me was dentures.
Oh yeah, no, everyone hates dentures, so
Dentures, but I like crown preps, stuff like that, but more.
yeah, if people could stop needing to have dentures, please do, because that would really help. Uh,
Yes, 100%. We also didn't finish lab this year, so it's kind of like an abrupt ending. So
yeah.
we literally didn't do like a bunch of aesthetic stuff that we were supposed to do. So I was really looking forward to that, but hopefully we get to finish it like when we come back.
So I don't know if you've kind of been watching some of the ones I did in the last couple of weeks. We've been asking a question to everyone. What's your 5 most used emojis? This is kind of just a bit of fun.
5 most used emojis. Okay, for sure. I think the laughing one.
I'm actually going to post mine, so you've got to drop them in.
I have to drop them. How do I? Oh, I have to go on the thing.
Just in
Okay,
the
wait.
comment.
Do I post? Oh my, they're so random this time. They don't even make sense. I definitely don't even use these. But okay, let's. I don't know.
I don't know. That's the 5 that I use the most. So we need to explore this because it's really
Apparently, this is my top 5. I don't even remember using half of them.
that's such a girl's top 5, right?
It is. It so is. I think the main
Uh,
one is the last one and the laughing one. That's like the two moods.
Guys, if you're watching, please drop yours in. But also, if you've enjoyed kind of watching and all the questions that we've done, take a screenshot and post it on your story. Tag us both, and I'll definitely share it on my story as well. Any advice for preparing hand skills before dental school?
Before dental school, I think definitely don't like think too much into it. Don't be like, oh my God, like I need to like learn how to drill all these random things. Don't like be like so like nervous about it. Like you'll learn as you go. But I know a lot of people like did like those pre-dental days where they did wax ups. You can have like an electric waxer at home. You can just like get to like know like your dental anatomy and stuff a little bit. But
Yeah.
honestly, I went in not knowing anything, and like you figure it out as you go. You destroy some teeth left and right, but like you figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I don't know if it's different in the States. Uh, for us, we're coming in at 18, 19, most of us. They're not expecting you to be already able to drill.
So young. Wow,
And if you
so
can drill,
young.
that's worrying because what have you been doing? So I think that's kind of the thing. You're there to learn the dentistry, so kind of know that level. That's you're going to learn that when you get there. They just want to know that you want to know to learn things. I don't know what Anki is or a deck
Oh,
is.
so Anki is like a flashcard thing that you can do. People do it like to like review. I am not an Anki person. It takes so much time to make those flashcards. I write all my notes. Like I am like an old-fashioned like writer. I don't use iPads. I'm like bad at technology. But a lot of people use Anki. They like it because like it's like a flashcard. You can flip it and stuff. But I just think
Right.
it takes up so much time. Just like thinking of what to put on each side. I just
I think
love paper notes.
maybe that's the learning, trying to work
Yeah,
out.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure. You definitely learn from it. I think it just takes up a lot of like time Like for me, because I'd just be so
Seems
slow
like
with
effort.
it.
It seems like effort. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
How did we tackle head and neck anatomy at NYU?
That took my soul, but honestly, I made sure I studied every single day. I remember that was like the main class I focused on. I took a bunch of notes.
Yeah.
Everything I'm really good at memorizing. I love memorizing stuff. So it's better than understanding. I will memorize random words, but I might not understand. But that's okay. You know what? That's fine. So
Yeah.
I would just like memorize things. I would take notes, redraw things, rewrite, have people quiz me. Like I loved being quizzed. Like the girl that commented earlier, Val, me and her used to always like quiz each other. And like nowadays I we continue doing it like with other people and stuff like that. But that's like the main like thing. I think that helps me just quiz each other.
Yeah, I think that's useful because you can go away for a couple of hours and learn something. Like you might learn one thing and she might learn something else, and then
Yeah.
you quiz each other. So you learn by quizzing. So you would quiz her on the notes that she's gone through, and then
Mm-hmm.
opposite way around. Anya, we answered your questions. It will be on IGTV, and eventually, when I can download it and post it, it'll be on YouTube.
Woohoo.
Eventually. But I'm slowly getting through them. I've just got back on top of things. Um,
I'm a
but
D3 right now. Someone just asked what year I am. I've just started D3.
yeah, and I'm 3 years out after university, so that's where I am. Please, guys, if you're NYU, please start taking this photograph in your lockers because it goes so well.
They're in my class.
Are they? They're
Yeah,
so
they're in
good.
my class. They're sisters.
That photo is so fire.
I
That
know.
reached. You wouldn't believe how many people that reached. It was
Really?
crazy. 80,000.
Wow, that's
I was
insane.
shook. It was good.
That's literally amazing. Yeah, they're in
Uh,
my class.
yeah, those guys are doing really well with their stuff. I'm gonna ask them to come on some point.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. I might have missed this. Oh, we answered that. Curious because they changed the curriculum with the boards, so wondering if you had experience with it.
No, thankfully I still take the part one boards, but it's gonna change for the future. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're changing something because now it's integrated.
Yeah. I think that's something we're just gonna have to find out about, and then
Hmm.
as and when we find out, I'll get someone on speak about it, and we can kind of find out what's going on there.
Yeah.
We've got 1 minute 24 left. So, any last questions for me, guys, or for Simona? Anything on the tab? Nothing on
Thank
the
you for
tab.
having me. This was super fun. I've never done this before.
No, it's kind of. I think this is the way we want to go. Like having people who are like active on the page, and
Hmm.
come on and say what's up, what they're up to, and it's a nice way to be able to know the people who we're doing features with, and getting involved in the community and commenting on things. So I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming on as well.
Thank you
Because
so much. Perfect. Have a good day.
yeah,
Bye.
annual exams, awesome. All right, so yeah, we're finished, I
Bye.
think. Cool. So that was Simona, guys. We did really, really nicely there. That was a load of fun. If you're enjoying what we're doing and you want to kind of support Dents of Insta, have a look at the link in my bio. There's something called Patreon, which you can join. Summer, we do this every day, so keep tuned. But yeah, there's something that's Patreon that you can join, and it's like a couple of dollars or a couple of pounds a month, and just help go let me do what I'm doing. Hopefully, I can take it full time at some point. But thanks for joining me, guys. Awesome.